If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal. Liverpool news: Mo Salah to Saudi transfer update as Arne Slot opens up on Star's departure. Liverpool have been handed a major update on the future of club talisman Mo Salah, while Slot has discussed a key departure for the Reds. Liverpool could be looking ahead to yet another summer of transition, if the latest rumours surrounding Mo Salah are to be believed. The Reds underwent a pre-season that was dominated by a lavish spending spree. Alexander Isak was a last-minute addition on deadline day, joining Liverpool from Newcastle for a staggering £125 million. He followed the signing of Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen for a cool £116.5 million. There was also £79 million spent on Hugo Ekitike, £40 million on Milos Kerkez, £29.5 million on Jeremy Frimpong and £26 million on Giovanni Leone, totaling a staggering £446 million. Yet this season has not gone to plan, with the Premier League title holders well off the pace. While talk of another summer dominated by transfers seems unfathomable, rumours are now rife that Salah could be on his way out of the club after an update was offered on his future. Elsewhere in today's Liverpool news, Slot has opened up on the controversial departure of Luis Diaz. Salah has reportedly entered talks with Saudi Arabian club Al Ittihad to thrash out a move that could see Liverpool's talisman replace Cristiano Ronaldo as the face of the Saudi Pro League. As reported by the Mirror, the 33-year-old could treble his £400,000 a week Liverpool salary if he makes the switch. Now, according to a report from Foot Mercado, it has been claimed the Egyptian has instructed his agent, Rami Abbas Issa, to move forward with negotiations. The report adds that Salah is now more open to a switch than ever. Salah was linked with a move to the Saudi Pro League in 2024, yet the rumours were put to bed after the winger signed a 2-year extension to stay on Merseyside at the back end of last season. The Egyptian is the current holder of the Golden Boot, Playmaker Award, and PFA Players Player of the Year trophy, following his historic 2024-25 season. However, Salah's form has dipped this season. The prospect of saving on Salah's hefty wages could prove tempting for Liverpool's management, who would also be eyeing a hefty transfer fee. Rumours are also rife that all parties would prefer to have any deal wrapped up before Salah heads off to the World Cup with Egypt. Salah's willingness to discuss a transfer comes after a tough few months, which included an explosive interview last December in which the winger accused Liverpool of throwing him under the bus. Reds boss Slot believes it is unfair to judge Liverpool's revamped forward line given the lengthy absence for much of the season of British record signing Isak. The Reds have struggled to match their goal-laden form of last season's Premier League when they were top scorers on the way to the title. While Ekitike has impressed, Isak has been limited to just 3 in 16 appearances, having suffered a number of fitness concerns. Salah has experienced a shocking drop in form, while Cody Gakpo has also struggled to make a consistent impact. Many fans have questioned the £65.5 million summer sale of Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich, where the Colombian winger has managed 18 goals and 14 assists in 30 games. Diaz was a key factor in bringing Liverpool their 20th top-flight title last season. "You always miss good football players. He was so important for us last season, but he wasn't the only one," Slot said when asked about his former player. "There were more players that were influential in our results. But I think we have replaced them with very good players as well. It is maybe more fair to say that if Alex had been fit, would we have spoken about it then as well?" Luis Diaz is another example of how this club is run. If this club gets for a 28-year-old an offer like that, then this club, because it is built on sustainability, chooses to sell a player, and we are an exception in the Premier League, especially at the top of the Premier League, for that. But that is why it is also so nice that we are able to achieve the things we have achieved in the last few years with that model. But he is doing very well at Bayern, and that is not a surprise to me. Liverpool transfer news as Yen Diomande deal impossible amid Nico Schlotterbeck blow. Liverpool transfer news as an issue with Yen Diomande's contract could pose a problem for the Reds, while Nico Schlotterbeck has reportedly set his sights away from Anfield. There could be more frustration for Liverpool fans in the summer transfer window if the latest reports are anything to go by. The Reds were largely inactive during the January window despite injury problems mounting in defense, only securing a deal for Jeremy Jacquet on deadline day. Even then, the Rennes defender is only completing the move later this year, with the date of his arrival potentially coming down to a new injury. There's little doubt that Arne Slot will need more new additions in the summer, although reports are now suggesting that the Reds have run into problems with two of their targets. Liverpool may have run into a problem with any potential attempts to sign Yen Diomande. According to Sasha Tavolieri, the Reds have been made aware of a contract between the RB Leipzig winger and his previous agent that would make a move to Anfield impossible. Diomande recently switched agents, signing with Rock Nation as speculation continues over his future. His contract with his previous agent, though, is said to still be valid until December 2027. The contract is reportedly legally registered with the English FA, with Diomande claimed to have assigned his image rights to the agency in question, which would prevent him from negotiating a contract with Liverpool. The Reds are said to be waiting to see whether the situation can be resolved before moving forward with a transfer. It's never simple, is it? Diomande would be a good option for Liverpool, especially if Mohamed Salah ends up leaving in the summer, and at 19, his best years are still well ahead of him. His image rights being owned by a previous agency would be an issue, though. You'd imagine that, having signed with a new agent, he's firmly looking toward a move soon, so hopefully that can be sorted out, and let's see whether Liverpool would be interested. Nico Schlotterbeck prefers a move to Real Madrid over Liverpool, according to Bild. The Borussia Dortmund defender has been linked with both clubs, as well as Bayern Munich, although it's the Bernabeu that is claimed to be his favored destination. A fee of around €50 million, $60 million, would reportedly be enough to secure Schlotterbeck's signature, with the price not thought to be an issue for Real. It's always Real Madrid, isn't it? Schlotterbeck would be an ideal option to come in along with the younger Xhaka, giving Liverpool plenty to work with even if Ibrahima Konate departs. It does sound like Madrid will be looking for a new defender in the summer, although it's still not clear who the manager will be by then, which does complicate matters. If they're in for Schlotterbeck, though, then you'd have to worry about Liverpool's chances of landing him. The Spanish giants have a tendency to get what they want. Liverpool passed tests that look beyond them after finally joining Premier League revolution. Liverpool verdict from the Stadium of Light as Virgil van Dijk's goal gives the defending Premier League champions a vital 1-0 victory over Sunderland. If you can't beat them, then the best course of action appears to be joining them. Liverpool have been seemingly unwilling to take part in the agricultural revolution taking place in the Premier League this season, but on a cold, wet Wednesday up in Sunderland, it was a scrappy set piece that breathed fresh life into their Champions League hopes. Virgil van Dijk's second-half header, deflected into the roof of the net via Habib Diarra, was enough for Arne Slot's side to take full advantage of the opportunity presented to them by the set of results on Tuesday night. After the respective draws of Chelsea and Manchester United, this was a chance that Slot simply could let pass him by, so a first away win since Tottenham Hotspur, before Christmas, came at an ideal time. The challenge now, having reduced the gap on fourth-placed United to 3 points, is to reel them in further with a consistent run that has eluded the champions all season. A top-four battle littered with inconsistencies is where Slot finds himself right now, and while there was some factual analysis behind his Tuesday claim that Liverpool are not necessarily a club who relieve managers of their duties if they don't qualify for the Champions League, he needs European Cup participation on his CV as much as the club needs it on the balance sheets. So that's why this 1-0 victory here might prove to be so valuable in the wider picture. The Reds managed to quieten what was a red-hot crowd at kickoff and had the lion's share of the chances in the first half. The excellent Florian Wirtz worked goalkeeper Robin Roefs with an effort from 25 yards before the Germany international then struck the post. Too often, however, Liverpool were guilty of poor decision-making or bad execution when they got to the edge of the Black Cats' penalty area. Wataru Endo, in for his start of the Premier League season at right back, wasted a good opening when his ball across the face of the goal was far too close to the goalkeeper, while Alexis Mac Allister and Mohamed Salah also saw efforts easily blocked, with the Reds unable to make their dominance in the first period count. Van Dijk gave Liverpool the goal their play deserved after the break when he headed home a corner on the hour mark, and while hearts were in mouths in the away end when 7 minutes flashed up on the fourth official's board, it never really felt like they were going to fritter away points in stoppage time for a seventh time this term. But like so often this season, the step forward was followed by one in the opposite direction as Endo became the latest injury casualty. The Japan international appeared to hurt his ankle clearing a dangerous cross around the hour mark and was replaced by Joe Gomez, who returned to the bench after a fortnight out. Liverpool's right-back curse endures, and the failure to bolster the defensive ranks in the January transfer window comes under the microscope once more. The sight of Endo being taken off in clear discomfort with the help of a stretcher was sad to see, and the hope is that it is not as serious as it appeared. It was gutting to see for the away fans who cheered his name as he left, and he'd won all 7 of his duels up until that point. Salah and substitute Curtis Jones both had chances in the dying embers, but their failure to take them, for once, did not come back to bite them. It was no classic and it won't live long in the memory, but it was a big checkpoint for what is still a new-look Liverpool, developing under Slot. Far too often this season physicality has proved their undoing, and an inability to hold on to results has undercut a team who would be third without 6 stoppage time collapses. But full credit here, they stood up to the task and refused to wilt against a battling Sunderland side who have now tasted defeat for the first time this season at this venue. Even Arsenal and Manchester City were held here, so this must be considered a sign of progress.